In this today's video, you will see how I remake the old One Piece logo become stunning with realistic style, and you're gonna see all this process while I'm making this stuff. Yo, what's up guys, back again with me Mato. In this video you're gonna see how I turn the old One Piece logo into different way, and I will remake it with my realistic style like this. You're gonna show all my entire process design from scratch to finish, and also I divide my step process in several parts, so hope gonna be helpful for you to work with your own project. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, before we go any further, I'm gonna break down the elements or images into the composition of the original one, so it's easily to find and collect the images individually. Here, as you can see, I have to collect a head skull for the main object. The straw hat obviously is the most important and iconic element in this logo. And then 2 bones for make a X sign, and lastly some of ropes. I'm trying to look for images with a higher resolution so that the results will be good overall. And after span of hour to find all the images I need, luckily I'm not trying so hard to collect this stuff. Now I have all the images that I need, and also adding additional images that I think it's gonna be good to put in on my initial composition. By the way, I put all that link in the description for all images that I collecting, so you can get it and together try the same as what I did. Now let's do the next step. Alright guys, first thing first, I start with the skull head, because that will be main object or focus point to start with, and then drop another images and continue to assembling or adjusting on each images. Here I ignore the color tone of each images that not match properly. I just focus on make a good composition following the composition of the One Piece original logo. In this process, I cut and adjust these images using several tools, such as the pen tools for an accurate cropping process. Then sometimes I also use the eraser tool to erase some small parts, and transform all manually, and also using a warp tools to fit into different sections. And after that, I put it together into design composition. So because this is gonna be a boring, I just speed that part up and talk to you in a bit. Alright, as you can see, I have a good composition to start with, and I feel that from what I did previously with my images, it was very close to the original one. Now in this part for image treatment, I will align or balance the color tone in each image more properly so that they looks blend together. Usually I'm using color balance or hue saturation sometimes. It depends of how my images looks like. When I'm using these tools, I personally like to drop down the saturation value. It seems like you turn your original images into a black and white adjustments, but just with one single slider, which is a saturation slider. And then I combine it with adjustments levels. This is the most tools I ever use. It's very powerful and easy to use if I have to increase contrast of my images. And sometimes it can bring out more detail of my original images and also for adjust a highlight any shadows transition. I'll do all these adjustments individually and constantly in every single element or images in the composition. So that is my ultimate tool for balancing and do a color correction into my design. And yeah, I'll just speed that part up because it's pretty boring actually. And yeah, I will talk to you in a bit. Next up is I painting a shadow using brush tools and spread it out smoothly, especially on the part of image that are cropped separately or in part that may be blocked by light. Here I have to commit to deciding where the light source will come from. And in this case I decide that light source will come from the front. It's just more simple and easy to do. There's no fancy way to be able doing that. To set up your brush to saffron brush and play with flow value, you can go to painting it and I'm pretty sure that will make your design more lively as well. And so I will speed it up this process a little bit, stay tuned. Alright, now I drop my additional images like a fire image. Yeah, as you know, I always put some of fire image into my work. Honestly, I don't know why. I'm really obsessed with it. I think adding some of fire into my design is like my personal style for right now. Especially when I want to adding some of highlights in it. It can give a burning effect and it's so dope and wild. Then I put my crack texture to create a cracked impression into my design. One thing I've learned so far is that adding or pay more attention to small details like this can have a big impact on what we create. This is the things you should always experiment when you're designing, guys. Sometimes the result really shocks you. I am also painting of additional highlight to give me more aesthetic looks. A painting a highlight is just to give a burning effect and make my design more standout, obviously. So I picked the color that close to my fire images, and my highlight is pretty basic actually. I just using brush tool and do the same step as when I painting shadows before. Or if you wanted to deep dive know about this process, I have made tutorial of it. You can check this out in the pop-up on the top right corner. So let's speed that part up and talk to you again in a bit. Alright, for now I think it's good enough for my work. But I have one more thing to do and it's my hot recipe for the final touch. Let's play a bit with camera raw filter. In here I just want to balancing all the color tone one more time, just to make sure all that I made earlier is popped together. There's no rush into it, just play to tweaking all slider randomly and also adding a noise little bit to increase the sharpness of my design. And after I'm pretty sure with the results, I put some text in it and applying the final design into my premium t-shirt mockup. Alright guys, so it's all for today. I hope you learned something new from this video. I'll be uploading another video later this week. Make sure to subscribe so you don't want to miss out. Follow me on Instagram for more behind the scenes. Thanks for watching my video. See you on the next one. Peace.